Welcome everybody. It's 2:49 on the clock, which is the 2 of the High Priestess and the 49 of the 9 of Cups, the Get Your Wish card, or wish granted. I'm a little sweaty here all of a sudden. We're going to go ahead and take a few deep breaths first. I want you to take 3 deep breaths and hold them a little bit, as much as you're comfortable with, and then let go slowly. I'm going to use, one of my bowls is the same, but the 2 other sounds I changed. There's supposed to be letters or notes C, D, and B today, but I don't know if how true the notes are. So let's go ahead and see how these feel to you and note the difference between these sounds from what I played yesterday, for example. So let's go ahead and take a deep breath. Take another deep breath. And one last deep breath, getting it all the way into your fingertips, to the tips of your toes, to your crown, to the tips of your ears. Let that oxygen get into every cell of your body. Sending lots of love and blessings, and so it is. Okay, so first I'm going to show you the readings for today. I have a couple of my Lenormand Reverie quick reads too, on top of that, we're really with really cool messages coming up today. So stay tuned, okay? Here we have the union read for today. I'll clarify that a little bit. We have the 4D, 5D, 6D, Divine Feminine on the left, Divine Masculine on the right, the bridge between them, the center, the incoming energies, the incoming Divine Feminine, outgoing Divine Masculine, and the closing energies. This is the Syrian Starseed deck. This is the Twin Flame read that you see in front of you on the table. Again, the Syrian Starseed deck. And these are the 2 Lenormand reads. Read number 1 and read number 2. And then here is the full read on the table in front of you for the Twin Flame read. Okay. That's a lot of energy, so if something doesn't resonate, don't force it to fit. Not all the messages are meant to be for you. It is a general reading. If you want something more specific, you can check out my information below, as well as on my website, twinflames3344.com. There's a family across the street. They just noticed something in the woods. So I wonder what they're looking at. I wonder what we need to find. Looking a little closer definitely was coming up in the cards today. And I'm going to roll the die first for the Twin Flames. Let's see what's coming up. And before I forget to tell you, I did a sound reading today, which I would definitely recommend. She was wonderful. And that is, and I found her through the Harmonic Egg, actually, because she's connected to Gail Lynn. And this is, it's Ani Williams is her name, and it's Sun Gaia, so S-O-N and then Gaia. Sun Gaia, one word, Sound Productions. She does voice analysis with astrology and connects the astrological chart to the tones that you may be missing from your voice. So yeah, really, it was a really cool session today. I definitely recommend it. And let's go ahead and roll the die for the Twin Flames, which is, we have Venus, we have Scorpio, and we have, Scorpio is all about diving deep. And then the number 1 came up. It just spun when I picked it up. Number 1. So 1 is about the oneness. It's all about the masculine energy, the focus, the direct energy. It's the more selfish as opposed to the selfless. And that's not, we're not categorizing men and women, because both men and women both have masculine and female in them. So it's just the energy that's coming up. Okay, so let's go into first regarding Scorpio, Venus, and the number 1, which is the masculine. Scorpio is very much about the well and diving deep, and literally the word well was coming up today significantly regarding diving deep into those emotions and bringing the water from beneath the earth. Actually, the Eiffel Tower and the Leaning Tower of Pisa both came up in the message today, so we'll get into that in a second. But Venus, of course, is focusing on the heart-based energies of beauty, and also Libra and Taurus with Scorpio. And then the number 1 is the Magician, which can come up as Gemini. Sometimes Virgo or Aries comes up for me there as well. So yeah, some very more masculine, aggressive energies, but combined with Venus, right? So, but we don't necessarily have Mars energy here. It's just more of a masculine aggressiveness along with Venus. So it can be construed that way as like the Mars and Venus playing off of each other. All right, so the union energy here we have for today. Today's the 3rd of July, 2021. And this is for the 45D60 union read for the Divine Masculine and Feminine Twin Flames at 12:52 yesterday. 12 is the Hangman, 52 is the Queen of Swords. And the underlying energy was the 3 of Wands. The central energy was the Page of Swords, which definitely could be a message. The 2 of Swords is the closing energy on that read. And I've definitely been connecting a lot between yesterday and today. I actually had 2 Zoom meetings yesterday. Yeah, was it 2 yesterday? Yeah, we had 2 Zoom meetings yesterday and 1 today for different kinds of things. And then, so starting out this union read, we have being present to the flame, the gift of the moment, and your abilities, heart opened wide with the Page of Swords with a message, a little light to offer or find. At the top of every mountain, the light at the end of the tunnel, and every C, which is very interesting because C was one of the notes I was missing in my sound session today. So at the light at the end of the tunnel, and every C with your eyes, C with your emotions or heart, C with your C of the letter C, the unity or Christ consciousness. Being in your knowing of Galilee. And Galilee was broken down into the G for God, and then ALIL was coming up as organic radical found in oils of garlic or mustard, ALLYL, the servant, the houseboy or maid, domestic. So in other words, God's Alil, or organic radicals, right? The angels, the indigos, the God's organic radicals, but specifically or directly was coming from garlic and mustard in the energetic exchange between the masculine and the feminine. Perhaps it's calling one the garlic and one the mustard. Or perhaps God's ally. So the Mary Magdalene energy of floating on air in her knowing when faced with the powers that be, unaffected. She knows that any fear she feels is theirs, not hers, having compassion for their position. The Mary Magdalene of the 3 of Wands and the 2 of Swords with the Page of Swords between. 3 flames, the Page of Swords, and the 2 swords, which could be construed as 3 swords, comes up at 107, which is the Magician and the Chariot. And at the same time, the guy was again cutting down stuff in my next door neighbor's yard. And there was this energy of the divine masculine energy feeling broken down and forlorn and weary. The divine feminine's grid and gate holders. Privately, the 3 of Wands to her flame, with her flame, and openly with a message to bring, while transmuting energies and while staying balanced, especially regarding peace of mind. So there was definitely, it's very interesting that the divine masculine feeling very small was the energy I was getting from the message yesterday, but I got another one today from the same kind of man energy. Again, feeling very small and the need to overspeak, right? When you're not heard. And also cat calls type energy was coming up. You know, guys who tend to be very confrontational as far as the energy of being attracted to a female, like saying things out loud, like cat calls, and then staring at you, which, can make a feminine very uncomfortable or very comfortable, depending on whether you are attention seeking or you don't want that type of attention because it feels insulting to you. So there's a lot of those energies were coming up. So again, the incoming divine feminine here at 111 was the great wheeler, the wheel of fortune, the hanging man, and the king of swords. So a lot of masculine energy on her side. The atom inside the circle of trust, or the ring of commitment, the kundalini raised of the 4D, the divine feminine rainbow bridge around the world in 80 days, being strong with source assistance as the 4 becomes more, or the number 8. And you know how I always talk about the 4 being the manifestation of survival, whereas 8 is the manifestation of your dreams. It's the higher octave. And 4/4 is the lap dance of the 2 4s, or the H in the 3D, and the 8 then becomes the higher octave of the 5D dance upright. So the 4D rainbow bridge of the divine feminine around the world, and we've been talking about that a lot this week, about the kundalini wrapping around the world and closing off. Now the rainbow can go from the kundalini snake into the general population of the earth. It's all in and it's sealed off. That's the message I've been getting all week. So the 4D divine feminine rainbow bridge that has wrapped around the world in 80 days, being strong with source assistance as the 4 becomes more, or the 8. And the D of the devil becomes the 0 of source energy. The dark becomes light at 114, the magician and the temperance card, which is the angels and that higher love. Atom sealed as the Father rounds and becomes one. And then the word one was coming up as O-N-E. Own and E, or Owen, was also coming up. Owen Wilson came up. A man and his ball, his companion. That is not something to hit, right? You see how Owen owning Wilson, right? Wilson from the soccer ball that was used as a head. Owen Wilson, who's got a very different personality, right? He's very open and loving. He's much more of a feminine man than most other men are, right? He can be very soft and sweet. So Owen Wilson, a man and his ball, his companion, not to hit. You own things because you love them and want to care for them, not to destroy them, hit them, bounce them, or ghost them. Your imaginary friend is the one you always turn to. That would be your higher self, your twin, the one who always knows you above all else. Atom has become Adam, a real live boy, as Jesus faced stonewalling of Pilate's honor system. Or in other words, sending him back to Herod, or Herod is her OD. 3D, 5D, 3D, 4D, 5D, the 3 planes of existence, sealed by the 4D Kundalini to raise its contents to the next level. A closed circuit, right, like closed circuit TV, a closed circuit or system unable to be touched or unrivaled system. This earth we live on, the ring around the rosy, the confused and the posy, or posing, as Jesus and his merry divine masculines see a new perspective to rise again as the King of Swords, the indigo and white, the pure of spirit and well connected, as she tells his story and he hers, the truth of his honor and the passion of her soul. The 4D here is the shadow, justice, and strength of the divine feminine, allowing dark energies to see the shadow and transmute and alchemize them, to see the bright spot, which then illuminates the rest, which follows like a domino effect, direct, at 130, which is the magician and the union of the 4 of Wands. The whole of the past to be overcome. 131, the magician and the 5 of Wands, the expansion energy of the pursuit of happiness and the impossible dream, as the divine masculine ring of fire, the trust and faith that if you jump through this fiery hoop, you won't get burned when all logic says it's too risky and hot, not warm. By becoming one with all that is, including the fire, you release from yourself, from conspiring. Always works better when you are one of them. Experiencing every group allows you to understand being each perspective. The portal, the threshold, just when you think you can't take anymore, that is the breaking point of the quantum barrier, the shift, the reset just below to work your way up again. Just like the energy circle, the loops, trusting that if you fall back, you will be caught and propelled forward even farther this time. And Father was coming up there too. The way anything is learned, by repetition until it is one with you, intuitive, known by heart, not mind, at 138, which is the Magician and the Queen of Cups. Bridging the shadow and the strength, the net that catches you, and the strength to face your fears in the circle of trust. The ring, the commitment to self, knowing that truth and balance and justice rings will always be there to catch you when you fall. And in homecoming, in the spring, when you get inspired to go forward again, to break through more of the veil. If you want to skip cycles and annuals growth, we're now talking quantum leaps and perennials, self-sustaining growth, perpetual, without outside guidance or needing them to plant your roots for you, or in other words, a closed circuit, right? You're all self-serving. There's nothing needed outside of yourself. Self-initiation then came up as the card that we pulled earlier that day, yesterday, at 142, which is the Magician and the Two of Cups, of self-initiation, right? The closed circuit, TV being telepathic vision between two different entities, a closed circuit. So we have the 144 right here for the 5D, 144, of the Nine of Pentacles, the Page of Swords, and the Four of Cups there. The Divine Feminine Sovereign, with pure and wise counsel, enjoying crystalline memory cells. Perennials want to do it on their own, or perennial. So the perennial may be coming up too. So talking about the human body, but also the perennials of the flowers, as opposed to annuals. The perennials want to do it on their own. The perennial with life cycle of greater than 2 years, or timeless, lasting, enduring, active throughout the year. The humans repeating cycles without natural cycles' help blocks themselves from the natural flow of all that is. The more we allow, the more time seems to speed up, until the cyclone is the Tasmanian devil losing complete control and becoming the 0 point, and asking self, why was I fighting my natural longing all this time and trusting my fate in the hands of others without best intentions for me and no knowledge of my personal highest learning and yearning at 151, which is the Magician and the King of Swords? What was your point or moment of timelines collapse when all came together, when you were on your own and had been taken off your feet before that a few times? Your inner calling to slow down, to listen to you. You got this now. You've made it back to you. So it's saying to you, what was the moment where you realized this? Where you realized you didn't need to depend on other people outside yourself, whether it's your parents first, and then your job that you've been depending on for, 20, 30 years. Your husband that hasn't been treating you well, or your wife who hasn't been treating you well. What was the realization when you realize that you could always depend on yourself and your connection to source, and for twins, to your twin flame as well, okay? So what was your point or moment of timelines collapse when all came together, when you were on your own and had been taken off your feet a few times, right? Because you didn't leave certain things. The universe is going to force you into seclusion by illness or injury. Your inner calling in order to slow down, to listen to you. You got this now. You've made it back to you, or as it came up yesterday, back to go. 154, which is the Magician and the Page of Swords, the message. So And just as I started this, just as I turned the page, the chainsaws started up outside. And again, the word of seesaw, which came up in the motion picture production that I just watched the other night, as well as in my code line the other day. Seesaw literally came up regarding the seesaw, the actual kids' activity, but also to see and have seen already. At 1:55, it just stopped after that. So it literally was on for a minute and then went off, and it was complete quiet like it is today, and I lay back. Then Stevie Nicks came up, and the chain, Saint Evie, or the path of Evie or Evie, and Saint Nicks. So again, that's revolving around the divine feminine energy and the divine masculine energy. The divine masculine, Four of Cups, with the divine feminine on his side, on flat rock, bedrock, in the middle of turbulent waters, focused up on the north node, their true north. Perhaps Leo the lion or Tony the tiger and Yogi bear. Oh my. Oh Maya. Maya's coming up too. Shining and birthing and praying and meditation, or hibernation. Hiber and nation is the act of inactivity in a sovereign state, which is nation. Hiber means to fly, or in other words, hibernation is to fly sovereign. To act is to pretend, but to be is to be. Que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be. But also to be, T-O-B-E, is a cotton garment worn in North Africa, like Jesus perhaps would have worn, simple and free. The mantis praying is fine. It's when they actively mate, where, or even actively mating or partnering up or connecting is where she bites his head off. Now finding a sovereign mate who doesn't bite, now there's the feat, with the greatest of ease at the great heights, flying in the air at mountain peaks, the aha moment of whee all the way home, on the slide having fun, just to enjoy the exhilaration of the climb back up. When you get bored of that slide, you're only going to find a bigger one to expand again. It's easy when it's something that you love, that resonates with you at 212, which is the High Priestess and the Hanging Man. The bridge is that 1% inspiration. It doesn't take a whole lot. A message, nature, a new face, an unexpected smile, hug, or compliment perhaps. Not because you asked for it or needed it, but just because. Jesus liked Mary because she had her own knowing and didn't follow him blindly, just because he said so. 'Twas her own inner knowing, her connection with Source, both knowing that they are connected to the same Source and each other all at the same time. The 6D here is the 5 of Pentacles, the 10 of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles. The Divine Feminine Hermit, the Mary Magdalene, in the Mary Magdalene cave, right? So now she's in her own element, in exile, in a higher vibration than the crowd. The Divine Masculine offering of himself, a special crystal proposal. After all, it's all Greek anyway. 6 of one, half dozen of the other, bridging at heaven on earth. Doubting Thomas and Kincaid, and then they guided me to break down Kincaid. And the message here was an instrument, a sheep with a parasite, envious kin, the serpent in the house. Like Peter and Paul, but not Mary. There's just something about Mary, is all. So, in the Garden of Prayer of Thomas Kincaid, Doubting Thomas's Garden of Prayer, right? Because he ended up killing himself basically because he doubted his truth, right? He made these beautiful pictures that the elitists said weren't up to snuff. But what's up to snuff? Did these paintings not give joy? Of course they did. I noticed his paintings right away when they first came out on the boardwalk so many years ago. So at 236, which is the High Priestess, and the 36 of the 10 of Wands, the burden of Atlas and the weight of the world upon your shoulders, the Doubting Thomas and the Garden of Prayer is Jesus's Garden of Gethsemane. Even Jesus was human. The House of Versace, if you've seen that, and all taken down by lack of faith in being human, having lapses in trusting. Who's the real you? one of fear or one of love. And the divine feminine here is the shadow work of light and dark, the carpenters and painters of light, the parasites akin to family, and dark insights, the 4D shadow work, the 5D Garden of Eden with wise counsel, and the 6D, the way station, alone again naturally, breaking the crystal barrier or light. The divine masculine here in the 4D, breaking the sound barrier with a birthing mighty roar, the 5D divine feminine on a break after the storm, looking up to the 6D Knight of Pentacles, the loyal humble servant, and all Greek or all geek to me, and brilliant crystal creator. Now he's gotten past the sound of his own voice. And again, that has to do with ego death. So bridge comes up here as the 4D divine truth and balance, the 5D inspiration, and the 6D heaven on earth, where all are family and all family are in love, not fear. The outgoing divine masculine is the 7 of Cups, 7 of Wands, and the Queen of Wands. Climbing the spiral stairway, I was just getting strawberry fields, climbing the stairway to heaven, or climbing the spiral stairway in quantum leap to her story. And Linda was coming up with Linda and Paul McCartney. So Linda McCartney is just coming up again because she just came up the other day, so she was chiming in again. Climbing the spiral stairway, and remember the picture I always show you from the Journey of Love about Paul and Linda. It's like a record of the cyclone where they're walking through the chaos of the cyclone directly into the vortex without being affected. Okay, climbing the spiral stairway in the quantum leap to her story, the 77th floor. And this was on yesterday on 7-2, which 2 7s now coming up here, right? 72 by 72 is the 144. But here's coming up her story, the 77th floor of sovereignty. The 77 is the 9 of Pentacles, where 2 7s, or 27, which is the reflection of the 72, made in heaven, ascending 2 by 72 and 144 into one grounding and integrating and mastering love by rising above the fire, the flames, and the drama, the burnt feet on the hot beach. As he recalls, she never gave up, even when I got loud and ornery and crying like a baby. She rose above, the tiny belly dancer with flame in hand, the phoenix rising as the Magdalene, the transmuter of the flames who can do it all. She can bring home the bacon, she can fry it up in a pan, and she can never let you forget you're a man. However, she chooses to be still my heart instead. Living and let live, each in their own knowing, and if you must be, live and let die. We'll see them later, next time around. The Queen of Wands in the 4D becomes the 2 swords in the 6D, floating on air in her knowing, without anything to prove to anyone. The divine feminine here came up as Libra, Capricorn, and Pisces, perhaps Virgo too. And the King of Swords and the Sovereign came up here. And I just smelled something and I lost it before I was able to identify what it was. But a smell came up regarding the divine masculine, which is the King of Swords coming up here. Some kind of fresh smell, but I lost it. And also, it's like smelling fresh and clean, you know, like when you first go to work in the morning and you're all fresh and clean for the day. Of course, later on, you don't feel that way. And the masculine on his side had Leo and Sag, and then the Knight of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands. The number culminated in the 47, which is the synchronicities, the heaven in their eyes of Jesus and his followers, right? And Mary Magdalene as his partner. The horizontal pillars here came up as 20, 13, and 14, which is judgment, death, right, or the Grim Reaper, and temperance of the angels and the higher love. The vertical pillars came up as 3, 14, 10, 4, 7, 7, 2. So there's that 77 and 72 again. Of the Empress, the Temperance, the Wheel, the Emperor, the Chariot, and the 4 of Pentacles, along with that 7 of Cups of the synchronicities and heaven in their eyes, right? Is it illusion or is it real? So here's the message regarding final judgment in death as the angels sing regarding the synchronicities and heaven in their eyes, right? And again, the rising after that. The Empress, the patient angel, and their destiny to the Emperor, the feminine to the masculine, in the chariot, in his heart sinks as pa-bum. Perhaps father was a bum, but son is a little drummer boy with a heartbeat of gold coin, which is another word for Kohan or co-pilots. Pa-bum, pa-bum, pa-bum. So that was that read for the union. It was a really beautiful read. And by the way, yesterday was significant and profound. I noticed going out for a couple errands yesterday, people weren't wearing masks in the stores. Yay, right? It was a really profound breakthrough yesterday. It was the first time I'd seen some, it's not everyone, but some people not actually wearing masks in two different places. One was the post office and one was a grocery store. So that was very significant. And I was noting yesterday me needing to deal with people with negative attitudes, right? And just transmute it. Instead of getting defensive about it, right? Like the girl at the post office who was being, kind of, how people are kind of mean sometimes when they're working at very busy places. And you've not done nothing to them, but they're just treating you like, you've done them wrong, right? Somebody with a chip on their shoulder, that kind of energy. But it's very important for us to go to these places to transmute those energies. So I was getting, there were two different places. One was where I was getting someone really, the people that you don't resonate with and you get really negative energies off of them. Again, it's not your negative energy, it's their negative energy, and you're pulling it off of them to transmute it. So remember that confidence and then say, oh, okay, it's 3, 2, 1, jump on the clock, by the way, right now. You're being called to wrap your energy around that energy and transmute it, change that lead into gold. So when you feel negative energies as you go out and deal with other people, and I actually, before one of my Zoom meetings, and it was I had to meet with the court. It wasn't anything bad, but I just had to do a Zoom meeting with a court person at the county courthouse. And the whole day I was feeling that nervous negative energy. I knew it wasn't mine. I'm like, really? And I didn't know what to make of this appointment. It was only a 5-10 minute appointment I had, but it was just the nervousness of that person. And it was really funny because, and it was just her general nervous energy because she's working at a courthouse. There's a lot of negative energy there. And her name happened to be Evelyn too. So it was really funny for us to connect with each other. But yeah, really focusing on transmuting other people's negative energies, not becoming defensive because you're feeling their negativity. And then this is the twin flame read where I cut the Syrian starseed deck at 4 o'clock on the nose. So double zeros is a lot of source energy or space supporting the 4 of stability, building, structure, and the Emperor who's in control. And I was still at that point feeling some negative energies in my sinuses. So I didn't know if I was picking up something from my twin or it was just still from the other sessions that I had before or going out and doing errands. At 4:16, crystals came up. Again, crystals interprets as Christ-like or crystals, which can be purging. But also LS came up, and S of the Sophia. And L can represent the Lu and the Sophia, right? The dark and the light. The 4 of the 16 is the Emperor and the Tower event, right? Or sudden events or sudden epiphanies about things. So I finished clarifying this read at 432, which was very interesting because the Wands, Pentacles, and Cups also came up as 432. And I just had 321 on the clock jump for you guys. And now we have 423, which is just a number above that. So again, it's like the energy spiral, going up one notch and then coming back down around and going up again, right? So there's a message about that energy spiral as well. So 432. So maybe you're able to jump at 2 as well. So it's 321 jump, but maybe 432 jump as well, if you can skip a step. We have reflection of the Hermit and Luna of the Moon in the main part of the read here, which is also Virgo and Cancer. And then before the read, Reason or the Emperor came up, which is Aries. And after the read, Indigo or the Magician, which is that Gemini and or Virgo energy. So we have the 4 Wands, 3 Pentacles, 2 Cups, no swords in this read. And the King of Pentacles and the Page of Wands were the main court cards here. We also had the Wounded Warrior in the read. And after the read, the Page of Cups came up. We had triple ones, as well as, more significantly, was 6-6, which is the Queen of Pentacles, and the 3-3 of the Christ energy of the Seven of Wands, standing up for yourself, which is representing Christ and Mary Magdalene. The 33 and the 66, she's very much the 6 of dogma. And then we have the triple ones of the New Start and double tens in a lesser sense, but keeping that very high vibration is the underlying energy or the underlying message to you guys. But we also double twos of the 22 of the Fool's Journey, keeping an open heart and taking that leap of faith, jump, right? The leap. We also have 2, 3, 4, shut the door. The 9 of the Hermit, the collective consciousness, the endings and compassion, and the 69 of the Ace of Pentacles, right? Offering that brand new life of perfect contentment. We also have 36 here of the Atlas energy of the 10 of Wands. And 9, 10, begin again and again and again. Keep coming back to center again when you expand and contract. Again, the reflection of the center point. 12 of the Hangman, 23 of the King of Wands also comes up, as well as 34 of the 8 of Wands, the 45 of the 5 of Cups, and the 56 of the 2 of Swords, the being in your knowing. The code line was all about completion, and complete was separated from ion, which is connection, complete connection. So the messages came up this way. We have 2 keys, or Kiki, which is interesting because that's my mother used to call my sister Kiki Wump. But 2 keys or Kiki or pi, right? The symbol for pi is like 2 T's together, which also can represent the temper tantrum needing to be balanced. The 3, 4 of the 8 of Wands, the energetic exchange, but also the Empress and the Emperor, and the shadow of power or the show of power of 1 of 2, reflecting to the moon. You know, like when you say, I love you to the moon and back, kisses and hugs are definitely coming up here. The full circle, again, the closed system and coming back again. So when I was doing my sound session today, she was doing some sound exercises with me. And what actually I was being shown was to circle the light that we were working with of the sound up from my kundalini up to my crown. But then they were showing when I come back down again, breathing out, to then close the circuit by bringing it up again to the crown. So just being able to see with your intention that closed circuit, which was very interesting. So again, hugs and kisses to the moon and back. So they're just disclosing that closed circuit again. The pi, like the pi of the circle with the line down the middle, the diameter of the circle, the pi or the temper tantrum, and the need to then center, because pi is the very balanced human. It's the line in the middle of the circle, which is the human embodiment of source. An energetic exchange of the high road, taking the high road, with the fluff or the icing on top, and instead of namaste, it was coming up namaste, which is that show of power. So it's saying a show of power versus a show of name and reputation. What is true power, right? Name and reputation isn't the true power. It's the heart, which is the true show of power. So the reflecting of the Hermit at night, and also lunacy coming up here, or being seen as a lunatic, or seen as a crazy man or madman, or also an airhead as a female, right? The complete connection of the kisses and hugs, but also the dance. For me, the X is also the eighth dance. Each turning an eighth towards each other becomes the full quarter turn, but one it's half and half, right? One is an eighth turn and the other is an eighth turn, becoming the quarter, becomes the X. And then the 0 of the space between. The 1 of 2, well, here first, the source is a TV or a telepathic vision, right? Your connection of the Empress of the Fufu, again, of like the airhead type energy, or the things people don't like to be called, like the feminine doesn't like to be called an airhead, and the masculine doesn't want to be called a madman. The Empress Fufu, or crazy, expanding and contracting and reflecting their show of power regarding 1 of 2, reflecting both sides of the moon, right? Because it's very in the feminine to be the mediator, because she can see both sides of the situation, but the masculine only sees their point of view. That's their energy of focus and direction. So reflecting both sides, 1 of 2 can reflect both, which is the feminine, of the moon, X's and O's, the completion of the connection, making that full circuit of ions and electrons circling. The X marks the spot. Long lines, there's no question about mark. So we have the, again, the key coming up here, which also can reference energy source, right? Two energy sources. The power couple of the Emperor and the Empress, the energetic exchange, but that's not necessarily the persona of the twins. That's what everyone perceives is the power couple, okay? So make sure you understand this. The show of power isn't the show of power of name and reputation. The show of power is the show of power of the heart in energetic exchange in that closed circuit. One of two, half of one, but the one is then still two, or supporting to reflect to the moon and back. Hugs and kisses. Again, closing the circuit with hugs and kisses, always saying goodbye with hugs and kisses, just like in a text, right? When someone says goodbye, then you send them hugs and kisses to complete the circus. Oh, that was a Freudian slip, to complete the circus. To complete the circuit of the circus, right? That's where the ring of fire comes up. To complete the circuit of the circus, the three-ring circus, the three planes of existence, the atom, right? So also to making the complete connection or completing the cycle. Two keys or two halves of the pie equals splitting it, right? Sharing it, but also splitting it in half. Three crazy or 3 to 4 shut the door. There's no reconstruction here, where the hermit's too crazy, sending them away with hugs and kisses to be done with the cycle of completion. The source being a telepathic vision, an energetic exchange with airhead or madman, or both, and a show of power of reflection of each other, of two at night, or with Cancer, Taurus, and Aries trying to intimidate Virgo and Cancer. So it's coming up the more masculine energy of Taurus and Aries, trying to intimidate the Virgo and Cancer of the feminine more energies, who just reflects it then with hugs and kisses. So instead of fighting fire with fire, she completes the circuit by just sending back hugs and kisses. You need a ring to seal the deal. So that comes up from Sex and the City when Big presents the second time at the second proposal with a ring to seal the deal. And then I was guided to draw again the circle with the line down the middle, which is pi. You need a ring to seal the deal, the circle of trust, the ring of commitment, completion of the circle of trust, of commitment to the world and beyond. Half and half is a balanced partnership, two sides of the same coin with the same juicy center in mind. Okay, and this juicy center in mind is also the pineal gland. So it's very interesting how that came up. So we have then the 3 of Wands reversed as the first card in the underlying energy, and the 10 of Cups in the 5 cards beneath that. 10 of Cups reversed, the Ace of Cups upright, Ace of Wands reversed, the 2 of Cups reversed, and Reason, which is the Emperor, reversed. The end of an emotional cycle of unhappiness or a very unhappy family with self-love and or new love, frustrated and disconnect or at a distance, and no reason, or the Emperor reversed is out of control, perhaps about his past, or looking back is unsettling. An offer of a big love in letting go to mend fences or fix things, or to hang out perhaps together, or travel together, and be crazy or do silly things and say the wrong things on purpose at 536, which is the Hierophant, and the 36 of Atlas are the weight of the world upon your shoulders, right? Carrying the burden. Or Capricorn or Pisces trying to fix things by an offer of big love, open-ended to the past. And Cancer or Warrior making a fool of themselves in front of the Queen of Swords reversed, or perhaps fell on their face or from grace, lacking faith in the Queen of Swords reversed, or in themselves, or got in an accident and never fully recovered, or thinking that someone else had got in an accident that then they lost their mind or went into silence. Aries reversed, Capricorn or Pisces upright, and Cancer upright here. Aries may be pissed that the Capricorn and Cancer are actually good, overwork or not working out, trapped, restricted, anxiety, or imprisoned, or fears about traveling, or making a bold move to come over only to be rejected, so the fear of that, or the fear of being dumped or duped, given no affection, with no comfort or no understanding, right? Being afraid that someone won't be understanding of you or your situation, or someone hit a pet or a child, and this could be something that happened in the past that they never got over, or Gemini reversed or Pisces reversed, or bowled right over an ex or innocent child, or perhaps a spoiled brat, or two exes or two dogs obeying orders to not engage with Page of Cups reversed ex, or Page of Cups reversed cutting off the warrior or Cancer from all of their affections, with Cancer upright and Gemini reversed. Recovering from exile, destitution, injury, or illness, powerless with the Emperor reversed, or with the Emperor reversed and their Ten of Pentacles dysfunctional family or family of loss, business or community, or all dependent on the Emperor reversed, who's out of control, either abusing his power or losing his power and stepping down or retiring. Perhaps illness or child or spender has been eating up his savings at 550, which is the Hierophant and the Ten of Cups family, or emotional cycle, perhaps in a happy ending. So engagement comes up here, and beneath it, religious factors. So engagement has to do with a relationship that's stepping up to the next level. The Emperor reversed, perhaps who lost everything, or perhaps lots of dependent spending, or energy vampiring, and the wounded warrior on his last leg being coddled, or is with an enabler, or just can't explain it. At 9 o'clock, which is 0, behind the 9, a lot of source energy backing up the Hermit, or the collective, or going within. The Dark Priestess, or Princess with two keys to fond memories, or to the safety deposit box, but no box. Where did it go? Or kids of female getting nowhere with it. The Queen of Swords reversed, lying, or just mad about that. The key of fond memories of romance, dessert, the park, or on the bench, waiting. And brown or filthy socks on the tree, or the cat's paws, coloring. Herbalist or spellmaker with cat and feet and bells around their ankles and cat's collar. 3 sets of female feet, or Prince Charming looking for the one who fits the glass slipper. Or feet on the brain, as I lose my voice, the heel, the ball, the soul, and playing with cat or puppy, or lovebirds perhaps. Or 5 different women to have sex with, or ghosts of girlfriends past, the vampire, the enabler, the witch, the romantic, and the war widow, or the very scorned woman. Health comes up here as number 71, which is also a place of co-creation, and beneath that was manifestation, or number 8, which is the dance of either manifesting your inner or outer power, but also manifesting your dreams. So we've getting over loss or regret, of heated exchange, or dumping a load with the King of Swords, who's upright, uncomfortable emotions about prison or secrets and passions and not telling their true desires. At 9:17, the Hermit and the Star needing to clean up a mess, but there's anxiety about a secret passion and needing to use their intuition. And then a yodeler came up, so I'm not sure where that comes from, but maybe that yodeler was taken down, right? Not understood. Pisces reversed here, and that could be yodels too. That's so funny. Because one of my friends a long time ago, who was living in another place, couldn't find their favorite tasty cakes, and was recounting to me at one point many years ago how all of a sudden the tasty cake she liked appeared out of nowhere. After they had tried, they already asked and it never came. Then all of a sudden, out of the blue, and it might have been after a connection with someone who had passed, that all of a sudden their brand showed up in the store for no reason. And it's 3:38 on the clock, which is the Empress, and the 38 of the Queen of Cups, but it's also the 33 of the Christ vibration and the 8 of the dance of manifestation. So the yodeler, but this also can do with yodels and tasty cakes, and something taken down off the shelves perhaps. And Pisces reversed here, falling into the past, with the Page of Cups reversed and our Pisces, they can both be the same, with the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community, dysfunction or loss, with the Queen of Swords reversed in deep sorrow and health issues at 71, which is that place of co-creation or work, or working with health issues perhaps. The underlying energy being the Queen of Wands, upright at work, but emotionally unhappy, and then the Emperor going forward after the read, out of control in the 5D connect on break or resting, with the King of Pentacles recovering with the Ace of Cups, loving offer at work from the King of Wands with a message of detox, or perhaps from a detox. So we have 3 men coming up here, unless, they're doubles. So we have Emperor reversed, and then the King of Pentacles is upright, and the King of Wands was upright. So suffering, this could be a father and 2 sons as well, right? Or the boss and then the 2 middle management, perhaps, or perhaps vice presidents and a president. But the Emperor reversed is out of control in 5D Connect, on break or resting, with the King of Pentacles who's upright, recovering with an offer of love, or perhaps receiving a love offer at work from the King of Wands with a message of detox, or so about somebody else's detox or his. So suffering in silence, or a sister getting clean with therapy, sharing, teaching and learning, or settling out. And the Page of Wands upright, inspired by the Knight of Swords, with the truth or out of uncomfortable emotions on a journey forward, presenting the truth to peacefully find a way, with the King of Cups reversed and the Knight of Wands reversed, which are both, negative energies. Or that can be a manipulative player who's unstable or moving, visiting or ending a marriage, with the Page of Wands upright, who's inspired by the Queen of Pentacles, who's spreading the word, stepping up and withholding from the Hermit reversed, the crazy jealous one who's coming clean, cleaning up the act or space, and then an actor was coming up here too, regarding getting up early or deception, lacking faith, or embarrassing themselves in karmic play out of defenseless to energies or attacks. Watch out for Cancer, Sag, and Aries, who are all reversed right here. The Page of Wands upright with the Page of Cups reversed, who could be Pisces in the past, and the foundation is the 3 of Cups reversed, past affairs or bad influences in a marriage, religion, or establishment, in the downturn or karmic fate at work with the Page of Cups reversed, the leader with 2 at work, 1 with Libra in chart, and a child perhaps with Pisces or Taurus in their chart, and the central energy of the King of Pentacles upright, who could be a Taurus here, falling short at home or issues with kids, ending conflict or in a losing battle with the world upside down, or the Divine Feminine in the 5D, or a Pisces reversed, justice, divorce, Libra surprised, or sudden events, epiphanies, or orgasm as well, with the Queen of Wands reversed, exposing a weakness or their weakness, or with kids and or pets, or 2 Leos, 1 upright, 1 reversed, who are all over the place. The Page of Wands ending conflict, the Page of Pentacles, Divine Feminine in 5D, and Libra spreading the word or stepping up to the plate, and Scorpio suddenly withholding time, money, and effort from the Queen of Wands reversed, perhaps someone, a fire sign with Virgo in their chart. Jealousy issues of Leo coming clean about ego, weakness, a child, or a pet. Or Taurus dealing with Libra upright, Scorpio and Leo all upright, but there's also Pisces, Virgo, and Leo reversed here as well. The challenge being no reflection, frustration, and fallen angel, losing patience or losing their temper, in separation or disappointment, not inspired or not sleeping a lot, with deception about a hostage or feeling entrapped, with third party or bad influences, partner, gossips. And that could be at, this could be social distancing as well, or just no reunion, with the Emperor reversed, betrayal or painful ending, and depression or arrogance in separation, heartache, and disappointment at 9:55, which is the Hermit and the whole truth of the Ace of Swords, Excalibur. The Page of Pentacles over it with the Queen of Wands reversed. She could be freaking out at her dependents or kids and clinging to the story about her inability to work. Now crowning is the 6 of Cups upright, loving each other, the King of Pentacles upright with the Wounded Warrior, and the Emperor reversed, who can be the Wounded Warrior, holding their tongue about the, right there. This could be about the 3 of Cups reversed, right? The third party in the 5D Connect, in heart and soul and secret passion, getting over loss, regret of the past, breaking up, and lack of affection, with the King of Swords reversed, detoxing to end the pain, or trying to close the distance gap in an all business type relationship or nightmare, marriage, or with narcissistic Taurus, religion or establishment, reaping rewards of sleazy karmic tie with unhappy family or an end to an emotional cycle, with the Queen of Cups reversed. The Hierophant satisfied or arrogant at Atlas or with Atlas or the weight of the world, or an ability to take on a large load, or slave labor for one who's waiting with the world on their other hand. The Queen of Cups reversed, defenseless to unwanted advances, perhaps heartbreak as well, separation, or sudden powerlessness and anger from the Queen of Wands reversed, and a dependent, and the Wounded Warrior, right? So that could be a Queen of Wands with 2 children, or it's all about her. The Queen of Wands reversed is powerless and the Wounded Warrior, near death or dead tired from working so hard, or from saying that she's been carrying the weight of the world on her shoulders. So soon as the 2 of Pentacles upright, the surrender to all that is, the Knight of Pentacles in separation, that earth sign, the loyal, humble servant, offering help in energetic exchange, with the King of Wands, the man of passion, on guard, with depression and overwork, perhaps coming out of rehab, an unhappy family. The Empress reversed, perhaps with bad influences, or maybe she is the bad influence, or is the third party exposing all about the war within. The twin flames seeing themselves as the 4 of Wands reversed, unstable, moving, visiting, or going through divorce or house issues, starting over defensively without defense, losing patience or losing their temper with fallen angel, sister, or suffering in silence, and finding an opportunity or an invitation, or with the Page of Pentacles, child, who is a great student. Reconciliation, give your relationship a chance, let your friends help, and then separately keep an open mind, right? Your partner may differ from your usual type and expectations, and then release your ex. It's time to release the past energies. Around the twins, or how they're seen, is the 9 of Wands warrior, the Wounded Warrior with fond memories they are keeping to themselves, with the Emperor reversed, calling them out, reaping rewards, and saving for a rainy day. The block here being the Moon upside down, the lunacy, the deception, bringing subconscious up to be cleared, dumping emotional attachments and or multiple loads. Cancer reversed and Scorpio reversed and Taurus reversed here. Completion, but even more so, new beginnings and financial discipline, that finances are affecting your love life, as the King of Swords reversed is burdened by multiple women or multiple couples in a deception, and that could be some kind of weird stuff as well. But it could just be 2 couples who are deceiving each other, or Cancer reversed sharing or settling out in a separation, in disconnect or at a distance, with the Queen of Cups reversed with lots of Scorpio around here, 1 upright and 1 reversed. Powerless Wounded Warrior or wounded dependent, Cancer, Scorpio reversed with Pisces upright, in recovery and settling out with the Magician upright and the High Priestess, which could be a magic couple, or Gemini, Virgo, or Aries upright, and Pisces, Virgo, or Aquarius upright, and recovering from exile of the 10 of Pentacles, family, business, or community, or world, dysfunction or lost, who've been withholding or are withholding from this Page of Cups reversed child, with indigo proposal and juggling. And this could be a family who refuses to offer help because somebody wants to offer a proposal to someone that they don't want them to offer a proposal to. So at 1025, which is the Wheel of Fortune, the 25 of the Knight of Wands, the 3 of Wands reversed is the past, looking back at the past or living in the past, with the 3 of Cups reversed right next to it, a lot of 3s right there, and the lack of joy. The 4 of Wands reversed, a lack of stability, with the Wounded Warrior, an inspired Page of Wands with the King of Pentacles upright, right? The man who's very responsible and very grounded and wealthy. The challenge being no more reflection of the Hermit coming out to surrender before dawn, or to all, deception, or at the new moon, the 6 of Cups love between the Wounded Warrior inspired by the King of Pentacles, and sharing love while inspired or sharing love while exiled from dysfunctional family, business, or community, who are not paying for the Page of Cups reversed, or rejected indigo proposal, or refusing to feed into the idea of the Page of Cups reversed and the Page of Wands upright performing together. So the Emperor reversed, living in the past and inspired by secret passion with the Pisces reversed, or that can be just a very vulnerable person or someone who's been rejected. third party of the King of Pentacles, or between the Emperor reversed and the King of Pentacles upright, challenged by the Hermit reversed, and two who love each other completely, moving, visiting, or unstable home, surrendering to the universe, the wounded warrior deceived and settling out, or up before dawn to settle out, or by the new moon, sharing with best friend, recovering from exile of the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, community, or legacy, or the world, or the cold world, refusing to help, the Page of Cups reversed, indigo, propose, at 10:33, which is the Wheel of Fortune, and the 33 of the Christ vibration, and the 7 of Wands, standing up for oneself. All right, so here's the quickies from the Lenormand Reverie, as we're right at one hour exactly for the first two reads. So these are quickies. The first one was done more for the masculine energy late last night. So it's like after 12, between 12 and 12:30. So perhaps aroused with Hermit coming out, perhaps driving them crazy post-war of split or divided. And by the way, as I was doing this, there's a little Eiffel Tower under my TV which fell on the floor, which just brought up information about that and the Leaning Tower of Pisa, which I'll get into in a second. So in the recent past is the Six of Pentacles. Is that the one? I'm sorry, that was the wrong one. Okay. So this morning, is this the one I wanted? Yeah, this is the one. These are the two I wanted. Okay. So at 9:45 this morning, the underlying energy came up of the ship. And in this deck is very much like a ship without water, right? It's up in the air. The first card out was the storks with the fox and the anchor. So here it goes. Delivery twins as the fox looks back, checking them out, moving toward anchoring in. A breakthrough for twins, none chasing the fox, nor following them. But the fox is the connection, or the ship that's ungrounded back to it's like the fox is the connection of the ship that's ungrounded back to its anchor. The separation and deliverance of awakening, the dawning of a new day, as two in the nest enjoying the sun, while the fox is on the hunt to anchor in the oneness, or finding emotions to ground their pie in the sky too, right? To ground in their pie in the sky air, right? So the groundedness of the earth with the air energy, needing to combine those two. So wise counsel of twins with keys to unlock codes and make things public, or death of timelines, 5D connection, and taking them forever to ground and anchor in. The tree of life needs lots of sun and water at home, in union, cracking codes to nature, death, time, and sunshine or love, which then was bringing up collateral beauty, where he was writing letters to death, time, and love. From the seed to grave takes time to blossom to tree again, with love of sun and structure and direction, and the tree's true north, as where I sit each day is true north. And then the east side was coming up. So I was getting like a division of the circle, like the half and half, because my astrological chart is very much gathered on one side of the half and the other side's empty. And before I actually did that session this morning, I literally the card with the compass on it is literally pointing north to the actual north of where my house points and the way I'm sitting, right? So I was literally guided to the half east of me, right? Because my energy resonates more with the north to southeast. And everything in the north to southeast was like my room and my daughter's room, and we very much resonate in the same energy. My son's room is on the other side, along with the rest of the house mostly, as the west side, the different energies, the part of you that you need to integrate, right? Because we are all of everything. It's just we're not conscious to the other half, right? So that's the wound clearing that we're doing. We're bringing up the subconscious energies, which is part of the whole that we are. We just don't project as our personality. We're looking to see, well, who's the other part of us? Where the other half of us go in the subconscious, and bringing all those wounds up to clear to become fully whole again, right? So that energy was coming up regarding, and then the Eiffel Tower, I remembered it had fallen off last night. And this had happened before, where the Eiffel Tower fell down. So I looked up the Eiffel Tower to see if there was any news about it. And this was at 10:04, which is message received. And so why did it fall off the table there? And then the Leaning Tower of Pisa came up this week as well. So I'm like, okay, what's going on? So the news that was from today or yesterday was 7/2/21 in Paris, Kentucky, where they put up a new white Eiffel Tower. And there's also a news headline about icebergs that are nearly as tall as the Eiffel Tower were found over 3,000 miles from Canada in the Florida Keys, nearly 30,000 years ago per study. So there's scours marks found on the sea floor near North Carolina's Outer Banks. The scours were about 700, is that miles? I can't remember, or deep. But the depth there was 557 to 1256 feet deep, with radiocarbon dating on shells and sediment there. And then, and that came up from dailymail.uk. And then from the Leaning Tower of Pisa, which I'm losing my voice between those two things, in newsweek.com on 2/18/21, they were saying that it didn't fall despite what TikTok had said. So again, it was about rumors, being spread that it was falling over. So then at 10:19, I was guided to a video picture of the Leaning Tower of Pisa, which had Time on it, like Time magazine, at 10:19. So a picture of Time with the Leaning Tower. And was it distorted? Because it felt like it was distorted. It was from 2 years ago, November 21st, 2018. And they were explaining as to why the tower doesn't fall over. But they had done some reparations to it from 1990 to 2000. But the key to it not falling over is the soft dirt below it. Like it takes on the, the earthquake shifts, the disturbance or the rumble of the earthquake is absorbed by the loose soil there. The soft ground is the way they described it. And it was straightened out a little bit, like 45 centimeters. And then they were reopened on June 9th, 2018. So I'm not sure why I need to bring that up, but I did. All right. So, and by the way, if I didn't tell you, today's energies is the 3 of the Empress and the 15 of the Devil. So again, the shadow side of the Empress, or the Mother, Gaia, abundance, the Devil side or the shadow side of that. And then, so after the Leaning Tower of Pisa and the Eiffel Tower, at 10:25, which is the Wheel of Fortune and the Knight of Wands, the direction you lean to is so important. Exposure of the home and Paris, Kentucky, with new direction and Leaning Tower in Italy from the powers that be about how it leans and doesn't fall down due to the soft soil. A well comes up here. The water beneath the ground is moist. Taking a closer look at the soil and beneath the ocean water, a breakthrough about 2 hearts, which by the way is a movie of a love story between 2 unrelated people. A loving man takes a risk offering their loyalty or their lead to a pup or a loving woman, a gift or she with a gift of rod and staff, which is music or quick as a whip. One of 2 doors, obvious after arduous climb of 2 desolate twin bridges, or spiritual paths with calla lilies and multiple dimensions, staircases and multiple bridges, flowers and mid-moon cycles, where the north and south poles should rest. Then the center is the culmination, the center here of the circle is actually the culmination of the all, the whole, the mountain to climb, the abundance to find on the other side, and the adventure along the way, the tweets and birds and conversations with many, and commitments of the mother bear, and the polarized north, to cut out the wheat from the chaff, or like push you to do that, the beast of burden, the snake's threat to bite and latch on, the poison apple, the key to her awakening, the sleeping beauty, Snow White, and of course Cinderella after the stroke of 12, The key to her dreams is not stardom, a funhouse of masks and power women controlling others to keep them confused about themselves and where they are on their journey. Are they giving their energy to her, or are they giving their energy to themselves? Finding good luck with the 4-leaf clover, because it's 4 hearts, or the 4 chambers of the heart, and the triple bypassing, or to get to the gold rush, the heart pumping the blood from your head to your toes, and where that leads, nobody knows. The carousel ride, the horse with pole stationed, and the brass ring available every time around. Over the rainbow to that pot of gold, only to find what's been eating at you, the poison apple left out by a child who's sad and an angry man. What eats away at the child becomes his cross to bear. And there's the bear of the mother again. The child is the key to freedom. The stardom is the cross and the mask, where the power women meet the power man in a labyrinth of lucky charms and pony rides and little imps or dwarfs that stand in his way. At 10:43, the Wheel of Fortune and the coming together of the union of the 3 of Cups. So the second quickie here was done at 1:13 this afternoon. At 1 is the Magician, 13 is the Death or Transformation. And this was after my sound session with Annie. So the underlying energy was the book, something that I need to know that will only become apparent with the presence of the stars and the man number 2, the optional second man, or the second version, the do-over, the powerful, determined, and passionate, cracking codes for the great white hope, the hanging violin, the angry young man, the wounded warrior, freeing the child to ride, like Mother Bear pushing the power woman out of the nest, or mother and child between the power man and the power woman, both looking in the same direction, but not at each other. She clearing away the wheat from the chaff to reveal the loving man in the labyrinth, the cyclone of how to get to the vortex, with chatter of 3 and tweets, taking a closer look, magnifying it and making it bigger than it is. The key to unlocking the cage of the 4-leaf clover, the 4 chambers of the heart, where the good luck comes from without blockages or bypassing. Just the little drummer boy crossing twin bridges that have been burnt already. The phoenix rising to fly across the broken bridges, to awaken spiritually to peace of the 2 hearts that beat as one, and the snake of the crazy 8s, the dance of the kundalini in twins, eye to eye or tail in mouth, eating the roots, consuming the wounds to transmute the poison of the poison apple to the pearl of abundance, free-flowing emotion with heart burden, crossing the fox, walking past the cemetery with one last look back, to focus on anchoring in with 2 wise old owls, taking what's been eating at you in order to break through the tail of flying ships and ungrounded pie in the sky, meeting up with the stork to pass a message to the loving woman of delivery and death around here, waiting for the shipment or the ship to come in, but taking forever as time heals all wounds, fully committed to home and union, where wells run deep to find a new water source. After all, the well springs eternal, and the stork comes home in the spring with the gifting of flowers and deep emotions, where hot and cold springs and salty and fresh water meet with the gift of loyalty to nature, growth, and a healthy family with inherited issues of sealed communications to the establishment of multiple faces and directions. It's not what it seems. The direction was of or pushed in the wrong direction by the powers that be. But follow your true north and a breakthrough of the sun with a public choice at the mid-moon, which comes up as 7/17, which also is the date I did my meditation in 7/17 that I posted on my website. But with rod and staff at 7/17, which is music or cracking the whip with staff, taking a gamble, a roll of the die to expose the obstacle, the blocks, or taking a chance with sunshine, buck or hart, in the mountainous regions of climb every mountain and forge every stream, follow every rainbow until you find your dream. And then came up, I wanna be loved by you, and nobody else but you. I wanna be loved by you alone. Boop boop be doo. So boop beep, and that was from Gilligan's Island. That's Ginger, for those of you who don't know. But then boop boop be doo came up as boo boo and be doe, which is the deer, right? Doe, a deer, female deer. And then the Sound of Music came up, but also be doe or pea do, right? A pea will do. And then dear heart, get smart, crack the codes and return to go. So then they had me, the notes of the scale are A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So they were guiding me to do A, O, B, O, C, O, D, O, E, O, F, O, G, O, right? And O is also the space between. So A, O, B, so A to B with a space between is smoke, literally. And the end at F, O, G is fog. So here's the message for A, O, B, B, O, C, C, O, D, D, O, E, which is do, E, O, F, and F, O, G. And here's the message that came from the definitions of all that. So between smoke and fog and the space between, the deceitful male deer or buck or billy goat with flutter and leap of heart, which is also a name of a male deer, and their attempt to confuse or use code with female deer regarding the upper arm of yesterday or yesteryears, the space between energy and reflection, the stubborn boar, tenor tuba that's off key perhaps, or sci-fi fan without an. I am that I am, the sun, a prince, a tongue, a grave, moving on at 0 point, a waste, end of the field or frame that enterprise objects to. Perhaps they're needing to warn Will Robinson of danger, or of robbing sun, of all that is between smoke and fog, two dear ones, code, and the end of the field, and where to go next, which is then again the cliffhanger. So let's go ahead and pull some cards for you quickly, since this was a long read. I'm going to go to the Animal Spirit deck first at 11719, which is the Magician, the 17 of the Star, and the 19 of the Sun. Right, that very masculine energy. You notice we skipped the Moon. And then the clock is 4:07, which is my sweet spot in numerology. Right, from 4 to 7 is where you want to be. You don't want to really go below 5, but the sweet spot is from the range from 4 to 7. Just like in alkaline and acidity within the human body, you always want to share. You will always want to balance, but towards the energy of alkaline or towards the energy of light. So let's see what the Animal Spirit deck has to say for all this energy that just came up. Oh, they got kind of mixed up. I don't read these in reversals, so. All right, let's see what's coming up here. For the Twin Flames, what is our takeaway from this read, please? It's very calm and patient. There's the black egg. It's all about the truth. This is the throat chakra. So it's all about the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God. And there's the zebra with their third eye wide open in a triangular fashion, and that's a masculine triangle, which is also fire. But this is more spiritually oriented, speaking their truth. And then we have a fish here, which is hard to get to keep still, which is coming up very much like the masculine energy, right? Here is the masculine, fully open spiritually to speaking his truth, with his third eye open, but it's hard to, get him to stay still. With the red moon there's a little bit of, lower chakra energy there coming up. And also the fish can be coming up, regarding the Jesus energy. And then we have the firefly, which is really, exuding his light, starting out small but reflecting really big in that golden white light of purification, which is really nice energy coming up here. The bottom of the deck is the Paramahamsa with their necks intertwined, the energy of the twins reflecting each other in love. And then here behind it is the culmination of the chakra system, and like we discussed in the read, the need for it to come full circle, to make that connection. You know, it's like once you come together into humans, it's like, you know, the 8 is the infinity between the two people. So it's your heart and solar plexus and throat area basically, and then this with the other, you know, that's the ultimate 8 is the infinity symbol between the two, then connecting them perpetually, which are already connected by your cord. But again, there's that energy of being fully connected in the physical. So again, the Kundalini being complete with the rainbow and the connection, and you notice the cord of the stingray coming up, the cord between the twins, the cord to your higher self. And then again, the energy of the loving twins, beautiful within and without. Within and without. And then let's see what the journey of love has for us today. So again, it's very much between, right? Because the truth, we have the literal truth chakra egg here, the black egg, but then we also have the energy of, you know, this is like the confidence of the solar plexus and the underlying energy of the swans, which is the heart. And very much the heart was coming up in the read today with the 4 chambers. So, and the 4 chambers, the 4 legs of the relay race, right? The 4th quarter, all that stuff comes up here. All right. So for the twins, that came right up. All right, we have the 28 of sacred convergence, and 28 is the twin flames, literally in this deck. The 28 is also the choice of path, the sacred convergence of all that is, and this always reminds me of Ground Zero at 9/11, New York, where there's actually something etheric that comes up from underneath the ground and rises up with all of these ETs on top, or angels or spirits or guides. And there's the sacred convergence of all the twins coming together at 0 point. And the connection between them all, which has to do with the pearl, the bacteria that got into the clam or oyster, which became or was transmuted into the pearl, which is something of beauty, which is something we all share, no matter who you are. The pearl threaded, which is the 38 of the Queen of Cups. The twin flame of the twin flame path and the choice to rise above, and the 38 of the loving, kind, and intuitive woman, right? The Mary Magdalene energy there. Something that we all share. The bottom of the deck, and again, the next deck I have to bring up just because there's Mary Magdalene yellow energy here. The knowing without knowing, the 41 of self-love, spiritual love, new love. And you notice she's carrying the weight of the world upon her shoulders there. And there looks like an M right here, like the Mary Magdalene. Okay. And then we have, I have to show the next one too, because like the old man, the rings of time of the Thoth, right? The outdated, the rings of time, and the rings were coming up all throughout the read. The 44 of the grounding, integrating, and mastering of love. And the rings of the tree, the rings of the commitment, the circle of trust. That the rings of time never leave the tree. They're always within them. They just build upon, and become something else altogether. It's not about rejecting the old. It's about integrating everything together. The bottom of the deck here is the angel of Jupiter awakening, the number 6 of the lovers, love, family, and community. And again, you see there's 2 energies here, not just one, but there's a lighter one here. They're both exactly in the same position of ease and grace, right? On 2 slightly different planes of existence, but all rolled into one in the Shokare type of energy, the 6 of the lovers in the vortex, right? As 3 to 1. The guardian of the soul family, the 26 of the Page of Wands, is the inspiration at the vortex of the 3 energies, right? The Jesus and Mary and the child, right? In the vortex at 0 point. And here is the ease and grace that they're showing of being in your power, right? Because the Shokare is a show of power. And the show of power is right here in the 2 of you combined. The 6 of the lovers and the angel of Jupiter awakening, and behind that again. And you see how much the colors are very much of nature, of the golds and greens. There's a little bit of earthiness to be grounded, but this is very much, look how much white is in this, which is the combination of all colors, and that's above the head. So there's very much of the groundedness here, but also showing the confidence of the heart and the solar plexus, along with some deep blues over here, and then so much white in this card too, of the etheric realm. Okay, so you can still be grounded and be in the etheric realm at the same time. And okay, so Venus, Scorpio, and the number 1 of the masculine. The masculine diving deep into the Scorpio depths of, right? Scorpio's money, death, and taxes is the energy of Scorpio, because they go to the dark side very comfortably in order to transmute that deep dark change, to bring it up, to be seen, right? Scorpio doesn't have a problem speaking the dark side of people and things in the world, right? And then we have the Venus of the very different energy, very delicate Libra energy of the Venus, being very sweet and loving and not wanting to ruffle feathers. So there's that energy of bringing them together as one. And there you go. So I do need to read to you the 28 of the sacred convergence, and then we'll be all set. So the sacred convergence is where there's a coming together happening within your body and soul, a unification of all that is within you, that's akin to traveling to a strange land, as all sorts of new sensations, not all welcome at first, begin to make themselves known to you. You're experiencing discomfort within your own body, or uncertainty and a sense of expansion to include more of life in your thoughts and feelings, then you are conscious of this sacred convergence. It is like two worlds or more colliding. If you're sensitive, you will feel it happening as an important event without necessarily having a physical situation to attribute the experience to or upon which to hang an explanation. You may also be encountering this very physical sense by finding yourself in situations which you previously would have avoided. You may be meeting people and thrown into relationship with them, apparently more by circumstance than by your own conscious choosing. This is a meeting of you with your shadow and something to rejoice in, even if it's uncomfortable at times. Be gentle and loving with yourself, and kindly seek to find the beauty in what you are learning about yourself in your interactions and experiences. You are a wise soul seeking to know yourself rather than judge others. Remember your divine perfection as you are thrilled and challenged in this time of great growth. You are guided to be curious as though traveling to a foreign land and remaining open to experiencing its treasures. This oracle holds a message for you. A deeper part of yourself is calling you forward. Any discontent, struggle, anxiety, or fear is a subconscious recognition of this. Don't worry, you're a unique plant in the divine garden. You don't have to know what plant you are in order to grow. You just need to live each day, and the growth happens naturally. Then when you can see, over time, the beauty of your true nature revealing itself to you, it will be a revelation to be relished. So from the white foam on the surface of blue to the mystery beneath the waves, wherever your travels may lead, may the artist's touch inspire us to explore the ocean realm and celebrate the beauty as land gives way to water and water to the unknown. And basically that comes up as where land meets the sea. So make sure you drink your water, get your rest, get your joy, get your nature, be good to yourselves, and rise and be loved. Bye.